Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Jammin' Music Man, and welcome to my all-new special DVD update video where I show you some of the DVDs that I picked up in the past few months. So, let's get this video started and I'll show you what I picked up. Eastbound or down, load it up and truck it. We gonna do what they say can't be done. It's Smokey and the Bandit, one of my all-time favorite Burt Reynolds films, one of my all-time favorite 70s films, and just one of my all-time favorite films in general. And it stars Burt Reynolds along with Sally Field, Jackie Gleason, and Jerry Reed. And basically the plot line of the movie is the Bandit, played by Burt Reynolds, gets challenged to go on a beer run all the way, he starts from Georgia all the way to Texas, and if he picks up the beer and brings it back without getting caught by the law, he'll get paid some moolah. So he asks his good buddy, the Snowman, played by Jerry Reed, who drives like an 18-wheeler. So they cross state lines. They run into Sally Field, who's like a runaway bride. And as they're crossing state lines from Georgia all the way to Texas, they run into Sheriff Buford T. Justice. And the hilarity ensues, and of course they go on a big police chase, coming back home from Texas to Georgia. But you know, it's just Smokey and the Bandit, you know, one of my all-time favorite films. And you know, it's not a big budget CGI. It's not, you know, the best dramatic film around. It's just pure fun, and you know, it's one of those films that really captures of what 70s life was like back then. It's a very 70s film. I would call it now a nostalgic flick, and you know, I highly enjoy it. And you know, I like part 2, and part 3 was okay. But, you know, the first one, this one right here, this is the one you got to pick up. And the special features that you get on here, you get the making of Smokey and the Bandit, which you get an interview with Burt Reynolds talking about the making of the film Smokey and the Bandit. And another special feature you get is called Snowman, What's Your 20? And basically it's just a tutorial of CB talk. But, you know, I highly recommend picking this up. And, you know, I want to say I bought this for like $4.96 at Walmart. And I still see it for sale at Walmart right now. But, I mean, if you're interested in picking up Smokey and the Bandit, I would highly recommend it. And if you like 70s films, you got to have this. And, you know, this movie right here's got one of the most, you know, quotable lines from any movie. One of my favorite quotable lines is when Sheriff Buford T. Justice tells his son Junior, he tells him, Junior, when I get home, I'm going to punch your mama in the mouth. There's no way you came from my loins. But I always loved that line in this movie. And, you know, I highly recommend it. And that's Smokey and the Bandit, starring Burt Reynolds. Alright, you guys, the next DVD I picked up stars a comedian that you don't even hear from anymore nowadays, and that's Pierre in For the Love of Money. And the plot line of this film, it stars Pierre as Dre, and he lives in the hood, and basically he wakes up one day to find out that there was this guy who was on a police chase. He ends up stashing a wad of money in his trash can at his house. And he ends up finding the money in his trash can, and he tells the secret to one person, and of course the rumor spreads around the whole neighborhood that Dre's got money, and he ends up getting asked by all these people, hey man, can you give me some money? He ends up getting seduced by his friend's mom, and there's the police that are on a stakeout, and they're on the watch for him. But it's a fun flick. I remember catching this on TV like on a Sunday afternoon back in the day. And it's also got Ralphie May in it. And I want to say it came out like 2002, 2003. And there's not really any special features on this disc. Basically, you just get the trailer for the film. But, I mean, it's a fun flick. You know, not the greatest film in the world, but if you want a good laugh, I highly recommend picking up For the Love of Money, starring Pierre. But what has happened to Pierre? I haven't seen him in anything in years. I remember he used to host like, I want to say it was like BT Comic View back in the day. And I also remember seeing him in a Tupac video like back in the 90s. But you don't ever hear from Pierre anymore. But this right here, it's a fun flick for the love of money. I picked this up for like $2.99 at my local Fred. So hey, I mean, if you want a good laugh and you see it, pick it up. That's for the love of money. Alright, you guys, the next DVD I picked up, it's the first ever X-Men movie. And it stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen from the Lord of the Rings movies, Gandalf. Basically, the plot line of the movie is Hugh Jackman, who stars as Wolverine, ends up running into Rogue, who's like this teen mutant. They end up going to Professor X's school of mutants, and Professor X takes them under his wing. And of course, there's there's animosity between Cyclops and Wolverine. Basically, Wolverine, he's got a thing for Jean Grey, and Jean Grey is Cyclops' girl. But other than that, Professor X, he takes him under his wing. They end up, trying to stop the evil Magneto, who wants to use his mutant powers basically to just take over the world. But this is my favorite X-Men movie, and I want to say this movie right here is really the movie that kicked off the superhero franchise films that we got going today. And I remember it coming out back in the summer 2000. But it came out like 2 years before the first ever Spider-Man movie. But I paid no more than $5 for this film at my local Walmart, and I would probably recommend, hey, if you want the film itself, it's in widescreen, and that's pretty much all the special features you get on this disc. So I would pretty much say, hey, don't spend no more than $5. But that's the first ever X-Men film. Alright, you guys, these next DVDs are the wrestling DVDs that I picked up over these past few months. And the first one, this DVD right here, I picked up at one of Luke Gallows' wrestling shows. It's recently stars a wrestler who just passed away just a few days ago. I think this past Friday. It's the WWE's Legends of Wrestling, Roddy Piper and Terry Funk. Basically, you get some of their best matches. And throughout their matches, you get like Dusty Rhodes, Mean Gene Okerlund, I believe, or no, not Mean Gene Okerlund, but Dusty Rhodes, Michael Hayes, Pat Patterson, and Mike Graham, along with Jim Ross, and they're sitting at a round table just talking about, Piper and Terry Funk. And some of the matches you get on here, you get Roddy Piper against Ric Flair on Mid-Atlantic Wrestling back in '82. You get Piper against Paul Orndorff. You get from WrestleMania 3 in the hair versus hair match, Piper versus Adrian Adonis. You also get Roddy Piper against Rick Rude in a steel cage match, and Terry Funk. You get Ric Flair versus Terry Funk in that Clash of Champions I Quit match. You get Terry Funk against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and you also get Terry Funk against Tully Blanchard from Slamboree '94. But I picked this up for like $5 at a wrestling show. But I would highly recommend picking it up. Let's see. The next DVD, wrestling DVD I picked up, it's Ring of Honor Best in the World. And I recently, in these past few months, I've been watching Ring of Honor, and I gotta say, I like Ring of Honor probably a whole lot better than the WWE, and I really enjoy their stuff. Like, I love the Bullet Club. But here where I live in my area, Ring of Honor comes on like local TV on Saturday nights at midnight. And I always try to catch them if I can. But some of these matches you get on here, you get Daniel Bryan, but when he was in the Ring of Honor, he was known as Bryan Danielson against Lance Storm. You also get CM Punk taking on Terry Funk, back when CM Punk had like blonde hair. You also get Samoa Joe taking on Kenta Kobashi, and you also get you get the Briscoe brothers on here, and Nigel McGuinness, he's on here, but not bad. I picked this up for I picked this up for maybe like $5, maybe $5 or $10 at another Luke Gallows wrestling show. But I like Ring of Honor, and Ring of Honor DVDs, I mean, don't expect them that you're going to find these at like your local Walmart or Best Buy or anything. You pretty much have to like order Ring of Honor DVDs online. But I was lucky enough to find this at a wrestling show. But that's the Ring of Honor Best in the World DVD. I highly recommend picking it up. Moving right along, the next one is this DVD right here. It took me back to the 90s, and it's the best of In Your House. You get some of the best In Your House matches on here. Like you get Shawn Michaels taking on Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental belt. You also get Stone Cold taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley back in '96. You also get a Buried Alive match with Undertaker and Mankind. You get the Fatal 4-Way match with Bret Hart, Stone Cold, Vader, and the Undertaker. What are some other classic matches you get on here? You also get Shawn Michaels taking on Big Daddy Cool Diesel right before Diesel would later go on to WCW with the NWO in a no-holds-barred match. But this right here, I highly recommend picking this up. I picked this up at another Luke Gallows wrestling show for $10. But I highly recommend this. If you're a fan of like 90s WWE or WWF, you got to have this in your collection. That's the best of In Your House. And my next one, I picked this one up at my local Walmart for $5. But I also know that they have like a 2-disc or maybe a 3-disc edition of this. But this DVD right here, it's the Rise and Fall of WCW. This right here, it's just pretty much the documentary. If you're looking for matches, this you're not going to find it at Walmart right now, but you're probably going to have to order it online. But this right here, what they have at Walmart, the Rise and Fall of WCW, is just the documentary. But I enjoyed the documentary very much, and if you're looking for just a quick little pickup, I would highly recommend picking this up. That's the Rise and Fall of WCW. And let's see, this next DVDs, or these 2 DVDs I picked up, I found them for like both, or no, I actually got like a 2 for $5 deal at my local Roses. I found some XPW wrestling DVDs. One is the Best of the Black Army, and the other one is Baptized in Blood. And XPW, they weren't as good as ECW. They were okay. I mean, they had some of their best moments, but I really like this Baptized in Blood. You get Chris Candido on here along with Shane Douglas, and you also get like a King of the Death Match tournament. But the Best of the Black Army, it really is just shows some matches with the people who were in like the Black Army. But with XPW, it was one of those wrestling shows I was never able to watch on TV, I guess because of, some of the content they had going on back then. But the XPW wrestling, Baptized in Blood, and Best of the Black Army, if you can find it somewhere for cheap, I highly recommend picking it up. But my next wrestling DVD I have here, it's The Undertaker's Darkest Matches. I picked this up for $5 at Walmart. Some of the matches you get on here, you get The Undertaker against the Ultimate Warrior in a body bag match. You also get Undertaker taking on Kane in an Inferno match. You get Undertaker taking on Kamala in a coffin match. And basically, a lot of these matches on here are some of his best matches from the 90s. But I also know that there's another edition of this DVD that's probably like a 2-disc or a 3-disc collection. I just picked this up at for $5 at my local Walmart. But if you find it at your Walmart for $5, I would just say, hey, pick it up. That's The Undertaker's Darkest Matches. And my next DVD I'm picking up right here, it's WrestleMania 31. And basically, I was surprised that this past year's WrestleMania was actually pretty decent. Unlike some of the WrestleManias in the past, You know, I thought maybe the main event, the way it turned out, it probably could have been a little bit better between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I thought maybe Brock could have won, but you also get Sting taking on Triple H, which I still think Sting should have won. And you also get John Cena taking on Rusev for the U.S. belt. And you also get you get The Rock and Ronda Rousey out in the middle of the ring. There's an altercation between them and Triple H and Stephanie. But I would have to say I did highly enjoy WrestleMania 31. And if you feel like picking it up at your local Walmart, Best Buy, or any video store outlet, I would highly recommend picking up WrestleMania 31. Alright, you guys, these next DVDs are some anime DVDs that I picked up at my local Walmart in their anime DVD bin. Reason why they had the DVD bin, they were help promoting the new Dragon Ball Z film, Resurrection F. But a lot of these DVDs I picked up were like $5 a piece. And if you watch my channel, you know I'm a fan of a certain anime, and that's Dragon Ball Z. And a lot of these are some Dragon Ball Z films. This first one I got is Fusion Reborn. It was a decent one. Basically, you get Goku going Super Saiyan 3, and you get Goku and Vegeta forming a fusion to save planet Earth. Also, you get Goten and Trunks. They form a fusion, but you know, it's enjoyable. It's a decent DBZ movie film, and I will spend no less than $5 on it, like I did. This next one is I highly enjoyed this one. This is probably one of the better DBZ movie films, I would say, and that's The Return of Cooler. You get Goku taking on Cooler. Cooler's trying to take over this new Namekian planet, but also you get Vegeta in there as well, and the rest of the Z Fighters. But I spent no more than $5 on this, and that's The Return of Cooler. And the next one I picked up, this is probably my favorite Dragon Ball Z film, and that's Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. Basically, you get this this legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Basically, it's like Goku and the Z Fighters. They're on this planet with this the father of Broly, and Broly puts on this golden necklace that turns into this wild and crazy ass Super Saiyan, and Goku and the Z Fighters, they try to fight him and stop him. But I would have to say this is probably my favorite DBZ film, and I only spent $5 on it, and that's Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. And another one I picked up, it's also another Dragon Ball Z related film, or it's The Best of Vegeta. Basically, you get Vegeta in some of his best fights. This DVD right here, it was a fan favorite. Funimation, they let the fans pick Vegeta's best fights, and you get Vegeta taking on Kid Buu, Vegeta taking on Android 19, and also you get Vegeta taking on Cell and Majin Buu. But I have the best of the Goku, and I picked it up for $5, so I would spend no more than $5 on the best of Vegeta if you can find it. And the final anime movie film I picked up, it was Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell, highly influential anime film. I know The Matrix borrowed a lot from this film. It's a classic anime sci-fi film from the 90s, and I spent no more than $5 on it. So if you can find it for $5, I will say, hey, pick it up. And those are my anime DVD films. Alright, you guys, these next DVDs I picked up were some seasons of Dragon Ball Z. I just wanted to show them to you. This first one right here, it's probably my favorite season of Dragon Ball Z, and that's Season 3, or as it's known to as the fans, the Frieza Saga, the epic battle between Goku and Frieza. Classic, legendary anime fights right here. And I gotta say, I own almost all of the seasons of Dragon Ball Z, and this was the one I enjoyed the most. But that's Season 3 of Dragon Ball Z. If you don't have it in your collection, go pick it up. The next one I have, it's Season 8 of Dragon Ball Z, or as it's known to the fans, the Bandit and Majin Buu sagas. Basically, you get Goku and the Z Fighters taking on the evil Majin Buu. Majin Buu's just running wild, turning people into candy and eating them, and he's just getting fatter and fatter as the show goes on. And also you get Vegeta. He lets himself get taken over by the evil Bandit, and basically his plan is to get with Bandit and destroy him, because that's just what Vegeta does. But Season 8 of Dragon Ball Z, I enjoyed this one. I know a lot of people out there like the Majin Buu saga, but if you want to start from the beginning of the Buu saga, you got to go pick up Season 8. And the next one I picked up is actually the final season of Dragon Ball Z, and it's a continuation of the Buu saga, and that's Season 9 of Dragon Ball Z, with the continuation of the Buu saga. You get, in this season of Dragon Ball Z, you get Goku taking on Buu, and Buu just, there's many different forms of Majin Buu throughout this season. You get the Kid Buu, you get like this super built strong Majin Buu, but Goku and the Z Fighter save planet Earth. I'm not going to give it away. You got to pick up Season 9 of Dragon Ball Z to find out. But those were the Dragon Ball Z DVDs that I picked up the past few weeks. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this DVD update video. Like this video if you want me to do more DVD updates in the future. But I'm Jim and Music Man. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.